What is going on, everyone? My name's Boyd and I'm back with some more Age Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the top of the map in the blue color, playing as Odin. His name is Ed Sheeran fan, also known as SteveWasHere. His opponent today in the red color, playing as Loki. His name is Gaboo. The map is Marsh, and this is a best of 3 for the Challengers League. We're in week 3. I believe this is a week 3 game, so the tournament's progressing quite nicely, if I do say so myself, and I hope you guys are enjoying it, because I sure as heck am. I don't think we've ever had this many 1v1s played since, ever. And this many 1v1 plays at a high level. All these games played very, very high level. Even the Challengers League has been producing some epic games, and I've been having a great time. So feels good, man. I want to say a big shout out to all you guys in the Twitch chat. If you are watching these on YouTube, I do live stream these games on Twitch. So if you ever find the time to come over and say g'day, do that, and I'll be a happy man to see you. We have our 2 players here. SteveWasHere, the extended edition player, came onto the extended edition. I believe he's been playing in ATB, but I could be mistaken about that. A lot of those EE players do play in on ATB. The ones who have come from EE to Vubly joined that all-time best clan. And competed in the RTSL. And SteveWasHere, I don't think he's quite won a game yet, but he's been putting up a good fight every single game and creating some really nice competition here. So we'll see what he can do with all of his Odin shenanigans here. Now, Gaboo, on the other hand, he is the heart of the PXX clan. If you watch the RTSL, Gaboo was the man they relied on to carry and do all of the crazy Loki shenanigans. His Loki is top notch, and we'll be seeing him trying to use it and abuse it to take out the Odin in this game. Loki versus Odin is a very, very good matchup for the Loki play, because you get those myth unit spawns. If you can get any Einhorn spawns, any Valkyrie spawns, you can do a lot of extra shenanigans with those myth units and get a very strong advantage. Beyond that, you also have the timing of flaming weapons before Skadi comes in, because you're playing Loki. You don't have to build as many Hersir to advance, or whatever many units as the Odin player needs to defend, because you get out a lot of those myth units to help your army. So you don't need to get out as many units, so you can get advanced a bit faster, hit a flaming weapons timing before Skadi comes in, and win the game that way. So this is all going to be about what is Steve's Mythic Age timing going to be. And he's been incredibly smart here. He did this just before in the other game, trying to find some forward hunt here, and then move back onto this hunt that he's got back here a little bit later. And he did have to veto in that first game, so he's down a veto, but he's going to be completely happy with what he's got in this game. He does have a fairly forward gold mine, no close watchtower here, so it's a very difficult map for him to play, to be honest. So we'll see what he can do to hang on here. I do like making some walls over here while we advance, some houses as well, to just make this a little bit more of a choke point here. If a troll comes in and a bunch of Hersirs, it's going to be difficult for Ed Sheeran fan to push out of here. He is 45% classical age through Freya, and we do see Gaboo going through 4, so he's a little bit behind, about 20% behind, and that's very, 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 very slow, to be honest here. Normally you see the Loki players wanting to advance maybe 4:30 at the very latest, because you get slowed down quite a bit here, but he's moving forward. He's eating his hippos, not respecting any raids at all by getting his back hunt straight away. So we'll see how he goes. We do see a spy down onto this hunt villager here of Steve. So Gaboo's going to know exactly where those hunt villages are, but once he gets pushed off this hunt, he's just going to move back onto these deer. Be pretty safe. It's a little bit exposed. The Hersir can come in here and hit them pretty badly there. But we do see a longhouse coming. This is a really forward longhouse here from Gaboo. Complete disrespect for any sort of forward or aggressive attack here from Steve. This longhouse here is super exposed. These houses behind it super exposed as well. We do see the Valkyrie trying to come in here, maybe going to cast an early forest fire. There is the forest fire. Does a little bit of damage to that Herso, a lot of damage to that Herso. Gaboo not paying attention here, thinks that the Herso is going to win the fight. Does retreat a little bit here. An Ed Sheeran fan, SteveWasHere, going to try and pick that one off. Moving back over into the forest fire, doing a lot of damage to these units, forcing the healing spring down, which is obviously going to be totally fine for him, but then he's going to heal these units back up. Still have a healing spring left, and because none of these Herso died, it's going to be totally fine for Gaboo. So nice micro from him to keep those units alive. We do see that Steve has grabbed the Anvil of Hephaestus and the Girdle of Hippolyta, which is actually really, really good for him, because you want to be making some throwing axemen here. Getting that extra 5% bonus damage for the throwing axemen is huge, because then they get the extra damage, bonus damage onto infantry units, which are the Herso, so you get a little bit extra to do that damage. And we do see Steve opting for a fight here. I don't know how much I like this, because he can't heal these units. If he doesn't pick off any units here, this fight is actually, all it does is slows down raids. And I reckon what you want to do here as Odin against Loki is try and hit some raids yourself with those Ulfsark. Just a couple of Ulfsark running around, forcing the Herso to chase you. We are seeing some nice micro from Steve regardless, pulling back those low HP units. The Valkyrie chasing some units away. Nice micro from Gaboo. There's the Iron spawn. So this fight is going to get completely changed here. As soon as that horn's blown, we do see that Steve retreats now that he's lost that Valkyrie. But we do have quite a few low HP Herso. So we'll see if Gaboo wants to send them back home. He'll probably be able to get his Hall of Thanes now, start chasing Steve around the map. But he's going to turn around and try and fight this one here. And Gaboo's going to be retreating for the time being. Meanwhile, Steve happily hunting away on these water buffalo, moving around. He's got 2 more here before he may have to make his way back to these home deer here. And now Steve going to be moving around with these Ulfsark. He's going to get very lucky if he runs through past this, which he will be doing. The Herso super out of position. So he's found these villagers. Gaboo not reacting at all. Neither is Steve, though. And he actually misses that raid there. Could have picked off a villager for sure there. Now the villager's just going to move back closer to the home base of Gaboo, moving on to these water buffalo. Maybe the house getting targeted here to get picked off, going to slow Gaboo down just a little bit. As the town center coming up for Steve here. This is a very aggressive town center, and it's very counterintuitive if you know how you're playing against the Loki. Getting this town center slows down your heroic age, and also on top of that, it gives your opponent an option to attack, an avenue to flaming weapons attack. We do see a nice raid here onto the throwing axe. We're going to be sniping that one before leaving there. So nice play from Gaboo. Every single little unit he can pick off is huge here. But the town center does get access to these ball here in the front, but like I said, slows down the heroic gauge quite considerably. So Gaboo can now just go semi-fast heroic here, cancel Herso production, and just advance to the next age, and then hit this flaming weapons onto this town center and do a gigantic amount of damage. Follow that up with a battle ball spam to do even more damage, and I'm not sure if Steve's going to have what it takes to defend against that one. We do see the Herso making a big push right now into this location. Meanwhile, Steve making a forward movement with these units here. There is still this Einhjar here. Steve doesn't know where to attack. He's going to lose all of his military buildings, and that's losing all of his production. So he's going to have to rebuild those. We do see the troll here as well, able to pick off quite a few of these units. The relic's going to pop down here, but for some reason, Gaboo not trying to steal them. Retreating back to his home base. We do see some of these Herso are getting low HP, but none really getting sniped just now. The Einhjar does die. Herso here dying, and the other one gets left alive. You cannot leave Herso with low HP if you're playing against Loki. Meanwhile, Gaboo comes back with his speedy army. He's going to be able to catch this entirety of Steve's army here. He's going to lose so much HP. Another Iron Here spawn, trying to throw down a ghost building by Gaboo, but it will get will be a little bit too slow here. More units getting picked off as Gaboo moving forward. But check out the population. It's currently 112 to 93, and Gaboo getting very, very close to the next age as Steve is retreating here into his town center. The dwarves trying to chop down some trees here. They need to get back into the town center. This dwarf will survive for the time being. Longhouse just about to die here as the old Sark's picking off everything around here very, very nicely. In the back, but with the myth unit spawns here, the Iron Here are tanking the town center damage here, but it does look like Steve here has managed to retask that onto the Hearser, which he does need to do. A lot of these, there's a lot of units sticking inside the town center for the time being. He should probably consider bouncing out of here. But he's waiting for the medium infantry here before popping all of these units out. Medium infantry has come through, but there's still so many units here. He's Ursula popping out. He needs to eject every unit here and fight this if he can. But I'm sure Gaboo is going to be close to the next age here. But for some reason, Steve just biding his time for as long as he possibly can. Pops all of his army out here. He's going to start attacking this. The Hearser come off the town center. The town center's got 500 HP left. But there's actually so many units here for Steve as he's able to push back here. The Hearser need to be on myth units here though. And Gaboo gets pushed back right now. Steve's sitting at 102 population to Gaboo's 87. So a big win here for Steve. Really nice turnaround there on that fight. Able to push Gaboo out, not losing the town center, not losing too much, but there is quite a bit of favor for Gaboo right now. So if he can hit the mythic age, or not the mythic age, the heroic age here, he's going to be able to make so many battle boar that it's going to be super difficult for Steve to fight against. So we'll see what he can do. Do see a ridiculous medium throwing axeman raid here onto these villagers, but the villagers just going to retreat away, not going to turn around and fight. The old Sark are coming around. They do not have Lone Wanderer. But there is a gold mine over here that is completely exposed. We do see Bragi has been clicked up though, and Steve not aware of it. His Raven positioning not the best. You need to have Ravens over all of the important resources. This one does not do a lot. It does check out the town center, but nothing else. So one of the big parts of Odin is those Ravens. It's basically a little bit of map hacks. But not using that in this game to the fullest of its potential. Steve coming in now looking to fight Gaboo here, but Gaboo's just going to be waiting for the heroic age for the time being. Lots of idle villagers here that need to be doing something, and that's huge here. We'll see if Ed Sheeran fan can get to the next age or not fast enough. He may be able to click up, to be honest. He's going to be close. Just has to build an armory, get up through Skadi, and then there's the armory. Get up through Skadi. Then those Frost Giants counter the Battle Ball, but I'm not sure if the Flaming Weapons is going to be able to be frosted, so it may not be even worthwhile here, as we see Gaboo starting to move forward. We see the Anvil of Hephaestus coming through, plus the Griddle of Hippolyta. There is Bragi. These units are very out of position. You don't want them pushed forward with this. You want to sit underneath the town center. You want to repair this town center as best as you can. The battle balls are starting to get pumped out right now as Gaboo making a forward movement here. But do we see the Skadi coming through for Steve? We do. So it's 20% here. The army of Gaboo coming forward, going to be trying to push Steve back, and Steve going to just retreat here. I would just sack this entire base here to the Flaming Weapons and just wait for that frost to defend here and try and get out as many of those Frost Giants as you possibly can. He does turn around with the Throwing Axeman here. This is a nice choke point for him with all those Throwing Axemen doing so much damage. Gaboo retreating here, still not opting to go for this timing attack. I think he thinks he has more time than he actually does. Nice garrison here from Steve, going to be utilizing that delay tactic for as long as he possibly can here until he has access to Skadi here. The Skadi is 85% and he's used it, but will he be able to pick off the town center? It looks like the town center will be falling here. The army pops out, but Frost is going to be coming down any time now. There's the Frost, and it's going to hit the majority of these units here. We do see 115 population for Gaboo to 126 for Ed Sheeran fan. There's 100 favor for Ed Sheeran fan plus 900 gold, so that is 5 Frost Giants to come out. And we do see Gaboo with 91 favor, but only 111 gold. So not going to be able to spam those battle ball as fast as those frost giants. And if you micro the frost giants well enough, you will be able to pick off those battle ball nicely. So we'll see what Gaboo goes for next. He has got his second town center. He's thrown his market down, so he may be trying to get to the next stage. We do see some walls coming up to try and keep Gaboo in here. Pick off every single one of these units here. There's really not that many left, to be honest, as most of them are getting picked off. The battle ball here gets frosted, but for some reason, a little bit of a bug there. Casting the special ability Frost before it gets unfrozen seems to not work there. A little bit of a bug, but that's fine. Still gets picked off. And now Gaboo are retreating away, and it's looking as though Steve is in a bit of a good spot here. The throwing axe are going to be a bit of an issue, but so long as he pumps out these frost giants fast enough, he should be totally fine. Build this town center back up, and when you want to be trying to get Balder, tell a lie, he's just going straight for Balder. Not a bad idea at all. However, I believe Gaboo going straight for hell here, or at least trying to. He's spamming a lot of villagers onto food right now. If we check the food out, Gaboo actually has not that much in terms of food here. So I tell a lie, he's not going through hell at all. He is trying to boom as fast as he can. And this fast Ragnarok may be a big deal here as the infantry units do spot this location here. Lots of idle villagers here in the base for Ed Sheeran fan. This looks like a very all-in push here for Steve, and he does not want to lose any of these villagers. So he's trying to retreat away while he gets to the Mythic Age through Balder. Unfortunately, he's moving with the Ox Cup, which does slow these villagers down to 2.9 speed instead of the 3.8 speed, losing another 2 villagers here. Every villager pick off here is going to be great for Gaboo. The villagers running straight into the fire of all of the rest of this army here is huge as well. And it looks like all these villagers will be picked off before Balder. So nice play there by Gaboo. Ed Sheeran fan looking for a push forward. Still only sitting with medium infantry here. Going straight for some houses here. Not going to be casting the Ragnarok just yet. Do we see hell or anything? We do see Tear here for Gaboo. A little bit interesting. I'm not sure if that's the right play here. You want to go hell so that you can use the Nidhogg to prevent any sort of shenanigans, any sort of rebooming or anything like that. There's the Ragnarok now sitting at 200 population for SteveWasHere versus Gaboo's 125 population. The army chasing Ed Sheeran fan away right now. And we do have some fire giants queued up as well. As they're moving in, we will see the fire giant be able to spray on top of these throwing axemen. The heroes of Ragnarok coming around the back here to try and pick them off. We do see the medium also spots of this gold mine over here. You got to send a couple of rag heroes over to gold mines. That's the first thing you do when you rag. You got to hit the gold mines very, very early. Nice frost giant spawn here for Gaboo. We'll see if you can utilize that well enough. The battle balls over here getting all picked off. The army of Gaboo getting surrounded here. He's going to lose all of these units. Nice ghost building there with the longhouse in order to stop these units from retreating away. And Steve is able to chase this army down, pick off a lot of it before he's going to be turning his attention to the home base of Gaboo. Tear comes in, but this is not going to do all too much. It does prevent this town center from going up. But there's nothing for it to really kill. He may get lucky with the town center getting picked off, but I doubt it because there's some houses over here already. And popping out the Ulfsark here to distract. We do see some Battle Ball coming in. They're very low HP. The Dwarves getting pulled back here. Town center going to get picked off here in the home base. But I feel like Steve not going after the right stuff here with his army may cause some issues here. Looks like this town center is going to get ripped down here as the heroes of Ragnarok coming back to pick these units off. There's a couple of low HP battle boy he can go after first, and he probably can rebuild it because he's still got a little bit of resources left. The units here for Steve have spotted this gold mining operation, so he's going to come over here, try and block these units. He can throw up some ghost buildings here, but it looks like he's not going for it. Just going to try and position a little bit in the back, pick off a couple of these units here before sending more units over here to pick off the other town center of Gaboo. So the big question is, can Gaboo keep his economy alive here? We see houses going down here, and we do see a couple of battle ball going up to the main town center of Steve, but he does manage to clean up all of those units. The Heroes of Ragnarok plus the Frost Giant and the Ulfstark taking down this town center of Gaboo, playing very well with this Ragnarok so far. We do see the Hero of Ragnarok not quite scouting this gold mine here. I don't believe Steve knows about it, which is going to be very, very costly for him, but the villagers over here all going to get picked off if he does not run away. He does try and come through this choke point, which is very dangerous, but he's managing to get through here for the time being. The buildings of Gaboo getting picked off here, and Gaboo retreating back home, looking for some sort of resting point. We see the market getting picked off. This is very smart because it stops any sort of trading for Gaboo here, who's trying to rebuild these longhouses. The population is currently 57 for Gaboo to 135 for Ed Sheeran fan. He doesn't have a lot of resources left at all. I'm not sure if he can. We can build one dwarf, and Gaboo sitting with 2,000 gold in the bank, still chasing these villagers down. He will be able to pick off quite a few of them. Still not checking out this location over here. More towers trying to come up for Gaboo, who is dreaming of a comeback here to this Ragnarok here. With all these watchtowers, you can get quite a bit of damage done. The villagers still trying to retreat here, not trying to draw any attention over to this this economic pack of units here. And now we do see the economy will start pumping. We do have a Frost Giant here, which may be better spent in terms of villager production initially, but I'm not going for it just yet. And we do see Gaboo tapping out. GG, well played by SteveWasHere. Just a really nice Ragnarok timing. Nothing too fancy here. I think Gaboo could have gone in with an earlier flaming weapons, and he would have been able to pick off this location and done really well for himself with battle balls afterwards. But because the frost came in clutch, was enough to defend, pick off all those units, and get Balder. And that was the game there. Well played by Steve. We'll move on to game number 2 very shortly. Thank you guys so much for hanging out and watching these games. And we'll get the next game going real soon.